I need to contribute towards the achievement of that.
So it shows that what I'm really getting from this engagement is that it shows that we really need to rework our approach to local governance. There are a lot of things that need to be reworked. I would like us to talk about that, particularly with the work that you intend to do through Project 264. But in the meantime, you have been someone who has been advocating, or let me say someone who has been talking a lot around issues of devolution. In our constitution, we've got section 264. We've got is it chapter 14 the entire chapter 14 of the constitution. And I understand that in 2020, as a nation, we developed the devolution and decentralization policy that was set to inform our devolution and decentralization agenda. And we have been talking about something that we have coined the devolution dividend. And I want us to move into that dimension. And I want us to maybe start by you helping us understand what devolution exactly is, and how can we view it in practical terms. How can we view it in practical terms as communities? You know, let's just have that whole conversation around that. I think devolution has been the talk for quite some time. I remember during some of us were already, a little bit grown up in 2013. I remember during the constitution formulation process, devolution was one of the controversial topics because there were some people within certain spaces who did not really want devolution to be part of our 2013 constitution. And they tried to manipulate the systems by putting a translation that was not exactly a representation of devolution. Remember that during the referendum, people were supposed to vote for certain parts of the, yes or no, yes or no. And I remember there was an interesting conversation because the initial draft was saying that the Shona translation of do you want devolution was unoda here kuti nyika igurwa gurwe. which does not really say, because when you say unoda here kuti nyika igurwa gurwe, you're simply saying that you want the country to be cut into pieces, to be which was sort of trying to paint devolution as a divisive instrument, as a divisive tenet of the constitution which seeks to disunite the people. So I feel like when we talk about devolution, we got off from the wrong foot, and there are some people who still have got that hangover of the referendum, who still think that devolution means that tiruda kukura kura nyika or sifuna ukuqamqamula ilizwe sifuna ukuqhuma yafuna ilizwe liqunywa qunywa. And I don't think that's a correct representation of what devolution is. Maybe you can walk us through devolution.
Maybe to start with that, if I may ask you, according to your own analysis, do you think devolution has started being rolled out in this country?
I feel like we haven't really been honest with ourselves when it comes to devolution. Principles have been put in place. I know that some principles have been put in place. We have a whole chapter in the Constitution that speaks into that. We have an entire policy that is, I think it's about 362 pages. The devolution and decentralization policy that came into play in 2020. And I think there's been some talks around an act of parliament that speaks into that. Its principles have been agreed on.